Hello, fellow gamers. Welcome back to another episode of Super Monday Night Combat. You are here with Kelldal, and today we are going to be playing some support. So support is a healing character, very similar to Combat Girl. He's got a single turret instead of the multiple kind of mini kitty turrets. So his turret is called a fire base. It is upgradable, so I should say. I mean, it upgrades just like all the other abilities, but it has more of an upgrade than what the turrets have, where you just get multiple kitty turrets. His fire base increases damage quite a bit and firepower, and then it also gains the ability to heal your teammates, which is really cool. And so we'll talk a little bit more about his other abilities as we see them being used throughout the game. Alright, so we are in the Grenade 3 arena. This is kind of one of my least favorite arenas. It's kind of, I guess, boring. I don't know, there's not much going on. It's just a giant circle laying on either side. The lanes are extremely far apart, and I don't have too much fun with it, but that's alright. So right off the bat, you'll notice I kind of mentioned this in Combat Girl's gameplay, I believe, as well, but I go ahead and heal the commandos and some of the other players that have very little health, especially right off the bat. Your enforcers can usually take a few more hits and don't need the healing first, because you're going to be healing them once you get up into combat anyways. So build up the shields for all of your lower health people. It's going to help them, you know, take a couple of those first hits and last a little bit longer very early game, or help them kind of get back to safety to heal up. So I got my turret set up there. Unfortunately, the gunner comes around and knocks me off there pretty early on. I didn't think he would actually come all the way around the corner, being that bold there. So that was a bit of an unfortunate death, so I run back over to get back with my team. Again, healing that commando, get their shield up a little bit before switching back to the enforcer. So definitely try and heal your commandos when you can. When they jump down near you, throw them a few heals, so that way when they run off and, you know, go toe-to-toe with some of the other team, they're going to have a little bit more health than what they would have.
My heart is sing.
Alright, so the abilities that support has, the left shift ability is called Overclock. I'll talk a little bit more about that when I use it. So there we go, I used it right there. It decreases the cooldown of your abilities. So you may have noticed my third ability, the E ability there, which is an airstrike attack. You can toss that out, as I do just there, and you can see the area that it's going to be affected by. So it's very similar to the grenade that, or the mine that Assault can throw out, but you don't have the ability to choose when it goes off. So it's a timed detonation, so it goes off after a few seconds, no matter what, whether or not there's anything in there. So you kind of have to aim with it. It's really good to take out groups of bots. You can toss it right on an entire group and take out quite a few bots, get yourself a good amount of XP there. And you can also attach it to enemy pros. So if you see them kind of poking around corners and you can't really get good shots off, you can toss that airstrike on them. If it attaches onto them when they try to retreat around the corner, they're still going to take that damage. Alright, so we're getting pushed back quite a bit here. So both me and the Cheston are a little bit lower on health. We're a little bit outnumbered.
My heart is filled with joy.
So here we're just trying to get healed up a little bit. I put my turret back out now that it's up. Help give us a little bit more of a defense in this area, so that way they can't break our turret. So I hop up here, get some Regenitol. Unfortunately, the Cheston went out a little bit, and the gunner was able to take him out for the couple seconds that I was gone. So I'm just going to hold my position here. Support is a really good class to kind of hold positions, keep people from pushing. As you can see, I am vastly outnumbered in this area right now, but it's really hard for them to push around this corner with our turret being up as well as my fire base. So we've got quite a lot of firepower here. So at this point, you just want to kind of keep things healed up, keep your fire base healed up, and keep harassing the team. So this support doesn't really know what he's doing. He's throwing his fire base out in the middle of all the fire. You notice mine is kind of always tucked around walls and stuff like that. So if there's a big line of sight on your fire base, it's really easy to take out, especially with longer range weapons, because it doesn't have that big of a range on it. It's more deadly up close. So putting it around corners where you know, people are going to have to basically get right next to it in order to do any damage to it is going to be your best spots to put it. So it's not really a ability to push with, it's an ability to hold positions. So you'll notice as you're moving up lanes, you can kind of move up along with it. Alright, so this is another reason why I don't really like the Grenade 3 arena. So as you can see, the Annihilator is in the middle there, and there is an ejector that is directly on that part. So a lot of people end up just kind of hanging around the sides. There are 4 buttons to trigger the Annihilator around the top of the arena, which you'll see me kind of go and check periodically. And people tend to just kind of hang out around these buttons and hit the ejector the second they see someone jump down to try and go for the Annihilator. And you know, while this is a good strategy for that, you get quite a few kills for it. You end up getting people that don't even bother fighting for the Annihilator, and they just look out for trying to get those kills for people who are going for it, and it just kind of defeats the purpose of what the Annihilator is for.
Plastic surgery to look like the Pope, and then killed the real Pope to assume his identity.
So back here, pushing this left lane forward, moving my fire base up, and moving around the corner so that way we can take out this turret. Alright, so here you see I activate the cooldown on my fire base so that way I can move up with it. So you can just hit Q to trigger that and move it up along with this lane as you're pushing. Alright, so I just kind of throw my fire base out there because it's kind of hectic, and we have that Captain Sparks putting a lot of pressure on us right there. So I was just trying to throw it down since he's jumping around and he's mainly focusing on doing damage to us. I was hoping to have it do a bit of damage to him as he's jumping around. So here I can see that our right lane is pushed forward quite a bit. So I go ahead and head back to the left lane because it is almost at our last turret here. So throw that airstrike in to do quite a bit of damage to the bots. Hit the overclock to get the airstrike again and throw it back in to blow them up. Alright, so when I put my fire base down here, it's going to kind of back up our turret as everything kind of comes around the corner, hopefully holding this place off while the rest of my team pushes the other lane. At this point, I'm not too focused on pushing forward, I'm just focused on keeping them from doing any damage to our turret. So I've gotten my turret up to level 4 at this point. So now it is able to heal me, so you can see there is a blue beam that is connected to me. That's going to be healing me a bit each time I go near it. So this is extremely useful. So as I am upgrading my skills, the fire base is usually the first one that I upgrade, because that is going to be, a big offensive for support as far as killing bots and holding your position. So leveling that up as quickly as possible and getting that healing ability for it is going to be extremely useful. The next thing I focus on is upgrading the defense stat on support. You are a very defensive player, and having more defense on you and keeping you alive longer is just going to be more useful for your team when you're sitting there trying to heal teammates. If you die quickly, then you can't heal your teammates while you're dead. So put my firebase away, activate my overclock to get cooldown finished, and rush back up to the front of the lane to support the assassin. So this is where I like to put my turret at this point. It is right next to where their bots spawn. So the second, a group of bots spawn, your firebase is sitting there, doing damage to them and taking them out. It racks up quite a bit of experience for support in this spot as long as you can keep it healed. So you definitely need to keep an eye on it because it's going to be taking quite a bit of damage as those bots come out and start firing on it immediately. But it also helps your bots push forward past the blue bots, because if you have your turret anywhere past this point, it's only going to be doing damage to any pros that may wander by it, which is good and all, but then your bots are going to be the blue bots will be ending up going right past your turret and going right into the lane, stopping your turrets and causing them to have to fight. So having your turret there, killing bots before they can even get anywhere is gonna help push. So here I go back up to check on the Annihilator. So I see the opposing team down there, hit that ejector and get an easy ring out. So you definitely want to keep an eye on that. Do not jump down to the Annihilator the second it comes up on this map, because you are going to be hit by that ejector. I'm trying to make sure that this support isn't going to hit that. I'm going down and checking there. Again, hitting that ejector again, trying to get rid of the Captain Sparks.
Hot shots lose a turret.
Yes, that one is gone.
Alright, so at this point I want to kind of go in and try and get the Annihilator. Seems like the rest of the pros are pretty preoccupied. Assassin comes in for a grapple. I get ahead and try and take her out. Gets a good shotgun shots off. And unfortunately I back up a little bit too much. Wasn't paying too close attention there and ended up falling to my death.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Icemen with an Annihilator attack. Here they
And
come.
the Icemen get the Annihilator. Alright, so we don't really have anyone on the right lane. Bots are pretty much all the way up there.
Is it good? No?
So again, upgrading the defense. Next thing after that I upgrade is the airstrike. That is going to be your big offensive ability. Having that, with a shorter cooldown, so that way you can, be throwing it out a lot more often is going to be extremely helpful in pushing. Alright, so the other weapon that the support has, as you can see, is a shotgun. So it's really good for close damage. It can be, quite devastating if you're not paying too close attention and you take a couple, shotgun shots to the back. So if you're able to get a few good shots off with the shotgun, definitely do that. Of course, it does have its grapple ability, like most pros have with their other weapons. Most of the time, you only want to use that grapple as a finisher, or if you're right next to your fire base, you can use it to lock the enemy in that animation while your fire base sits there and fires at it. So that's what I usually use it for. You can, back that enemy up, allow them to chase you right around to your fire base, and then grapple them at the last second before they can retreat when they realize what you're doing. And then your fire base is going to do quite a bit of damage during that grapple. Alright, so I'm pushing this right lane up with these bots, using my overclock to get my cooldowns back up, so that way I can place my turret when I get up here, and keep using that airstrike on the groups of bots that come up. So there's nothing going on up here, so I go ahead and push all the way forward, right around, and see if we can take out this turret. So this group of bots comes right around here, and still no enemy pros. So let's go ahead and take this out. Looks like there is quite a few people over in the left lane. So by now the Icemen have heard that their money ball has gone down, and they're probably rushing back here to defend it. So this is going to relieve a lot of pressure for that left lane from my other team that is pushing. As you can see, just about their entire team, except for I think about one person. So I think they've got 4 of their 5 here trying to get us off of their money ball. So we've got a jackbot that is walking up the right lane there. So at this point, I should have enough money to buy a jackbot of my own, which I do. I've got 4,500. So I go ahead and come out to the left lane, so that way I can put a jackbot on there, use the rest of my money to spawn some extra bots to go with them. So I do that to add some extra support for the jackbot. So again, you really want to, escort those jackbots to the end, because if you're not escorting them, they can be taken down pretty easily. Yeah, they do a lot of damage, and yeah, they have a lot of health, but, enemy pros can take them out from a longer range away than the jackbots can do damage. So if you're not there to support them, then they can be taken out quite easily, and that's just going to give, free experience and free money and prizes to the other team while you wasted 4,000 of your coins. So we push all the way to the money ball, toss my turret down there, so that way when it pops up it can shoot the money ball and do quite a bit of damage there. Take out this chest in and focus on the money ball. So at this point, it's pretty much end game here. We've got multiple jackbots here. The money ball is down and taking quite a bit of damage. The majority of our team is in here. We've got a third jackbot coming in. And that's the game. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed watching, and hopefully you learned a little bit something about playing support. Or Super Monday Night Combat, and hopefully we'll catch you on another episode. See you later.
Stay tuned afterward for Meet the Meat Sacks. When Michael loses the spelling bee, he's immediately shunned from human society and forced to live with the cyborgs across town. You don't want to miss this family dinner.